Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Bits and Bants. I'm John Thackeray, and our guest today is CEO and founder of Devpost, the awesome Brandon Kessler. Before we get into the episode, though, a little bit of admin. Please head over to the catchyagency.com website and check out the latest blogs and insight articles we posted, as well as following us on LinkedIn. And if you like Bits and Bants, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel as well? Thank you. So that was easy. Let's head straight into the episode with the brilliant Brandon Kessler. Brandon, hello. Welcome to Bits and Bants.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you?
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. And happy to be speaking with you today.
Our pleasure. Much appreciated. So, to start off with, I'm going to take you back to 2009. This is when you moved from Messenger Records to starting up Devpost. Just wondering what brought about that change from your side, and also have you noticed in that time any kind of common threads between the kind of indie music scene that you were working in with the kind of crossover with hackathons where you are now, and also anything kind of out of the ordinary that may have kind of crossed over in that time as well?
Sure. Yeah. So the brief story is I started a record label in my dorm room in college. I had this inkling since I was 13 that I would be able to have a label and combine business and music, which were my, two big passions of mine. I read about this guy, David Geffen, started Geffen Records and then DreamWorks, and now he's a big philanthropist, et cetera. And I thought, well, wow, record label, that sounds great. And then I came to New York, started working at a bunch of different record labels and started my own thing as well. And the more I did it, the more I realized, wow, this is really what I want to do. I admire people that can do 50 different things and be happy at every one of them. I am not that person at all. I'm miserable unless I'm doing like the one thing I really want to be pushing on, it's for better or for worse. And so I did. I started my record label. I ran that for 12 years, worked really hard at first, just one person, and then had employees after that. I really like supporting creative people. I like working with people that are creative. I mean, building a company, you have to be creative, but I mean people that have no choice in life but to just, in their case, make music, and they would do it whether they made money or not. So I really liked supporting them and getting them in the studio, overseeing the making of their albums, getting them out of jail, babysitting them. All of the last two were not so fun. And so after 12 years of doing that, I said, I want to control the product. With an artist, they may make a really commercial album, and then the next one maybe not so much. And there's only so much control you have, and that's a good thing. But I wanted, I was also seeing that everything was moving into tech. All the creativity that was really exciting me was happening with technology and the internet at the time. So to answer your question, I think the through line is that I like supporting creative people and inspiring people to make something or to build and to get that out there. And so anyway, I decided to go to business school on nights and weekends. And yeah, when I got out, I raised money. That took a while because there was a huge economic crash, 2008, but eventually did it. And then this is the end of my long story, I promise. But I was inspired by these grassroots competitions to, to identify a problem and then put it out as a contest, and people could solve it and then earn money. And it would get all over the press because it was so exciting. Anyone could enter, and we just want this creative idea. And this was starting to blow up. There was X Prize, which is a nonprofit, still around doing incredible competitions. There were some other ones that inspired me. And that's why I created this platform and community for these skill contests. And that's what eventually became Devpost. So I would say that, the through line is working with creative people. I would say there are certainly a lot of differences. I did learn a ton, working across all areas as a small company that helped me moving forward.
That hands-on approach must have been really invaluable when you then go for company number 2 and almost start from scratch with what am I doing, and having that kind of experience with creative people who are, as a designer, I can be a fickle beast when I need to be. And it's
the best.
Never had to be bailed from jail. I'd like to just right. Want to reiterate, but we have our moments. Yeah, so kind of that experience must have been invaluable to then move into the kind of world of hackathons and developers who in their own, they're a community in their own right and have their own approach to things, their own language, their own understandings, and yeah, it must have helped a huge amount kind of taking that step through.
You bring up a really important point. So yeah, first of all, I couldn't agree more with opinionated designers. Never hire a designer who isn't opinionated. Like, if you're all things to all people, then you're nothing. Like you want designers or artists or whatever that are like, they have those strong opinions. And but the point I love that you made is the similarity between working with artists and working with developers. There's actually a lot of similarities. Like you said, the grassroots approach. I had flyers in my hand all the time. In order to promote those artists to the audience, you have to be out there in person, flyers up, stickers up, go to the record stores at the time, move the album to the front and not to the back. It's very, very much hands-on with the artist, hands-on with the audience, and building communities in concentric circles. So you have an artist who's in, say, Brooklyn, first have them get a really strong following in Brooklyn, and then have them trade shows with somebody in Philadelphia where, they get to open up for the Philly band and the Philly band opens up for them, and you're building that community. And similarly with developers, it's all about giving and understanding and being with them and helping them build in order to capture a small percentage of value. So.
From kind of top of mind, are there any in particular that you've run in the past where you've gone that the return was so much greater than you ever actually were expecting or thought? And what was it that kind of made you go, oh, crikey, okay, yeah, this was great?
Yeah. There have been a lot of hackathons that have had an effect on me. One of the first before Gen AI was, I believe it was an MIT college hackathon where somebody built something called Homework Machine that at the time could read your homework and then operate a pen to write the answers for you of the homework. I'm sure that these MIT math grads did not need help with their arithmetic, but that was kind of incredible that it happened at the time. And it was, foreshadowed what we're seeing today, where with OCR and more. So I think that was one. Then there's been a lot of social good competitions we've done. We've done social good competitions to help address sustainable development goals, and many others, and a lot of local community hackathons that have been really powerful. So what's cool about a community hackathon is a community that cares about something specific can get people together to help build stuff for it. So that's pretty cool. I think of another hackathon we did that had this great app that was called Kids Court, that allowed you to verbally have your kids, I have 3 of them, who are arguing, state their side. And then the judge would listen to them, have them do the counter argument, and then pick a winner, which was absolutely brilliant, mind blowing. And then brings us to, there's been AR and VR, all of the emerging technologies, a lot of stuff around Web3 and crypto, where there have been successful products that have come out of that. And then bringing us to Gen AI, where I've seen nothing even close to it. And I have this reaction almost every day. So I think that, we could stand here all day just looking at each other in awe, talking about what AI is doing. And that's what's so cool about it, is you can see anything from a company saving dramatic amount of time on something that's repetitive, to seeing people with no resources win $1 million prizes, launch companies, get jobs, etc. So I would say in the AI front, there isn't one specific example. It's just more all the competitions that we're doing are super impressive, and it's the projects. It's weaved into everything.
Yeah.
So whether it's an AI competition or not, people are building and using AI, which is incredible.
Yeah. How do you personally, how does the Devpost team, I suppose is probably a better question for this, stay on top of that side of things? Because as you say, it literally changed. You blink, something else is there, something else is there, something else is changed, and not all of it is relevant. And not all of it is actually, some of it's flash in the pan, some of it sticks, but there has to be a kind of level of engagement with it to see what is going to stick around. How do you guys kind of approach that side of kind of staying on top of industry change, I suppose? whatnot.
Yeah. Have you seen that post that's been going around from Matt Schumer called "Something Big is Happening"?
Not yet, no.
Highly recommend it. It's an engineer who says, last year everybody was saying, "Yeah, it's pretty good, but you have to go back and forth." And because of these new releases, particularly Opus 4.3 and Codex 4. Opus 4.6 and Codex 5.3, that things have definitely changed, and they have. So no engineer at our company is writing code. They're writing English to write code. That was not the case last year. That was not even the case universally 2 months ago. So it's mind blowing. I did a budget last night that would have taken me a day in 10 minutes. Helped sort through job candidates still with my human in the loop, but ones that would otherwise not get reviewed because certain sources allow you to spray and pray. I was able to use that to add additional data on over 2,500 candidates, not leaving the hiring up to AI. It actually helps surface candidates that otherwise would have been missed, because going through 2,500 applications in great detail is hard. So these are tools that help go on steroids. And to your point on how do we help our community? So we have customers who run private hackathons internally or for the customers to try and learn AI. What do we do? So we have learning hackathons, which is where you learn a new tool and then you apply it to your day-to-day, all within 1 to 2 days. And we've done some of these already, and we are now gearing up for release on these more widely, which are going to be more specific for a given tool. So we're doing them now more on a customized basis for our customers, but we ultimately do want to be coming out with tools, with hackathons for a given tool, to answer your question so that we can help them remain on top of it. So it's hard. So you might as well have a 1 or 2 day hackathon internally. I know I'm preaching my book here, but that's how I'm passionate about it. Sorry. Have a short hackathon to learn a new tool, get the CEO and the CTO all in the room, judging the project so that they see how important it is. They're on board. And within a couple days, you can save, 15-20% on code review time or something similar.
Yeah, you kind of think it. You have your little bubble of a team, for example, and you're kind of, oh, what's this? But actually, going to step up, 2 steps up, and kind of effectively present as a kind of sprint is effectively it. It's that's a really clever way to do it.
You're right. There's a lot that can be learned from design sprints. And now instead of just a barely finished prototype, you can make something that actually is working and more sustainable and leverages data in ways you couldn't think in the format of a design sprint.
Have you found that the audiences that attend your hackathons, whether it's in person or online, have shifted over the last 12 months, 2 years since growth of that area of coding?
Yes. There's 2 main forces I see happening. One is the sort of older phrase about software eating the world, which I view as essentially more things are becoming automatable. And then the types of people who are automators is changing and widely. So you've got more things in our life that are more automatable, and you have more kinds of people who have the skills to automate. So more specifically, that together is like exponential, crazy growth rate, which is what we're seeing right now. But more specifically, you have non-developers that can build apps and agents and projects for themselves, who can link up data sources and get insights without having a dev team or a product manager or necessarily a designer for every single thing that they're doing. And it could be a marketer. It could be, everybody in our team is doing deeper stuff with AI, and we're seeing that in general, where there are more people spending. So what does that mean for our hackathons? There's more registrants and more submissions and more usage than any time in our past history. It's scary, exciting and scary at the same time. It's terrifying. I mean, it is unreal. I was just talking with a group of friends this morning, and there's some, a well-known actor, there's a showrunner in television, et cetera, and other folks. And Yeah, I mean, there are no longer sets with hundreds of extras. They made a comment that, maybe the word extra meant that it wasn't such a crucial job role, but still, not to make light of that stuff. It's just like that's a huge shift, both a negative one, also for the upstart creative person that doesn't have the $1 million to build the set and hire the 100 extras. It's also powerful too. It's crazy, crazy time, mind blowing. You'd be remiss to not bring up the downsides, like the environment and massive numbers of resources, and where are we going to get all this stuff? Where are we going to get all this resources? Because since the better models seem to be bigger for now, and what does this mean for people that don't have the ability to shift into AI, or who can be replaced by a college grad who knows the tools, et cetera? It's tough. It's going to be, it's rough, but we're all kind of a part of this. Good luck stopping it. It's not about stopping it. It's about getting on the train.
Before we do a wrap up, 2 questions. First is, what is the best way for people to engage with Devpost?
Well, we make it simple because we only do one thing, which are hackathons. So if you own a developer tool or AI product and you want to get the world to use it, you should be doing public hackathons and private hackathons with your customers. And if you work at a company and you want your employees to learn and adopt AI and leverage it, then we should do private hackathons with your company. That's how. And I'm Brandon at devpost.com, or you can come through our website or ask you and our friends at Catchy or however.
Perfect. Have you got anything you'd like to plug?
I think I've plugged a lot already. Sorry about that. I think we're excited about the times and our offerings. I appreciate your time here.
Thank you very much indeed. And been wonderful to chat, and really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Hearing you say that now, because of AI and wanting to learn those things quickly, that they're more popular than ever, that's great. That's great intelligence.
That was one thing I was hoping to get in that I forgot. I've been hearing about hackathon fatigue since I started the company, which is, are people sick of hackathons and that kind of thing? And every year they've grown and gotten bigger. So I think if people think about hackathons as like a nifty, gimmicky thing, then I think they're thinking about it wrong. It's really just how do you craft something that gets people to learn, build, improve in a way that fits their lifestyle, does it in a short period of time, and is helpful to them. And so you call it a hackathon, call it whatever you want. But that's they've gotten bigger and bigger. And with AI, it's even bigger than before. And you have this mandate from companies and CEOs and heads of engineering who are now saying, oh my goodness, like let's leverage this as well. So there's actually this economic push to have them. A lot of people that are pushing AI within organizations are execs pushing hackathons. So I think, who knows what the future holds for anybody with AI, but I think the idea of a guided way to work together with your colleagues or work together with your friends or coworkers or whatever to achieve something and learn something in a way that's creative, where you can apply it to your life. It's not going away, whatever the name is. They're just growing.
Yeah, I love that. That's
cool.
That's great, knowledge to have.